morning everyone, here on Flosstube. My name is Megan, here with MJ Stitches 23. This is my Flosstube channel all about cross stitch. This is going to be a mid-year WIP Parade. It is also my 1-year anniversary on Flosstube. I have been stitching for about a year. I have 27 WIPs to show you. I typically like to do my videos right somewhere in between 45 minutes to an hour. I'm hoping that this one is going to be about that. It's easier for me to upload. So we'll see how it goes. I'd love for you to join my channel. A lot of my viewers kind of know who I am, and I know you're all here for my stitching. So I'm just going to get started right into it. You'll kind of learn who I am and if you vibe with me as I go through some of my projects, and I'll share a little bit more about who I am and myself. So for right now, we're going to get started with, right off the bat, with Nature's Journey. Okay, take two. I held it up backwards the first time. So this is Nature's Journey by Katarina Holland of Sprouting Lupine. These are her designs from Just Cross Stitch magazine series from 2005. So it is a spring, summer, fall, winter stitch along, all in the issues of last year. So this is the spring. I'm just about finished. And this is summer. So I'm counting this all as one WIP. Oh, did I do backwards again? You guys. I did. Yeah, okay, you know what? That's fine. This is better. Okay. We're not redoing this. Here we go. Okay, so this is the spring. This is the summer. Okay. So we're gonna talk about the spring first, then we'll go to the summer, and eventually there's gonna be a fall and a winter. So we'll get there here in a second. Okay, so for the spring, this was one of the pieces that I stitched on first, and I measured incorrectly. So long story short, you can watch it in my past videos if you're interested, but I decided to cut the fabric and just stitch the spring on here. I have left this blank because I'm going to design an iris that I'm going to put in here. I'm a big iris grower. By the end of this year, I think I'll have over 50 varieties of iris. Just love the gardening. And also because, you know, typical white Ada from a new stitcher. Yeah, obviously I added in my own back stitching because white and white, as many of you know, doesn't really work. So this is kind of the journey of my cross stitch career history. I don't know if you want to call it a career. Cross stitch hobby. So take two now, we get better. I learned how to dye my own fabric. So this I hand dyed in my garden. And what I'm going to end up doing is quilting these pieces together. So when it's completely finished, I'm gonna stitch all of this together and frame it. So spring, summer, fall, I'm gonna do, I have plans for a fall in like a coffee tea dye, and then winter is gonna be like a lighter blue, I think. I haven't done that yet, so. But I'm really loving this piece, loving how it shows the progression of this hobby for me. And of course it is summer currently right now. I live in Washington in the United States, and so the summer piece should be getting a finish by the end of summer is my goal. I have this in this project bag. I do make my own project bags. I learned how. And I just learned how to sew zippers because I'm also a newer sewer since COVID. So I'm just loving learning about all of these new hobbies, I suppose I don't know if it's new anymore, but newer hobbies when I started. Okay. Next up is gonna be Majestic Blue Dragon. And this is from Mrs. Magic Stitch on Etsy. I'm stitching this on a Lugana 25 count. It's called Dusk from Bestitch Me. I joined the Fabric of the Month Club last year and got all these wonderful, beautiful pieces of fabric from them. Definitely will be joining them again. I just needed a bit of a break. I started this on August 14th last year, which is my anniversary with my husband, and it's also another Flosstuber's birthday, Sebastian, on Bees and Tea Stitching. So this one resides in this project bag that I made. Just love this fun fabric. And here is where we are. And I am very, very excited about this. So this fabric, it's kind of like this like pinky shade. I want this to be the background, so I'm not going to stitch. I am going to stitch the clouds and the land, but I want this pink kind of to be the dusk or the sunsetty color with the dragon flying through. So this is going to be the background. So I'm just going to be stitching the wings, the clouds, and the ground, and then that's it. This will be a finish. Love the designs of the wings. When you look at it close, you can't really tell what's going on. But yeah, when you pull it back, you can really see the beautiful designs. And then there's my little dragon needle binder. I like having them match. Not all of mine do, but when they do match and the project bags match, it's kind of like its own hobby. Just getting everything to match. I really enjoy that. Okay, next is going to be my biggest piece that I'm working on. It's over 200,000 stitches. It is a full coverage piece. It's called Rivendell Sunrise, which, yes, if you guys kind of recognize the name Rivendell, that is from Lord of the Rings. It's by Outlet Cross Stitch on Etsy. I'm stitching it on Aida 16 count. This one I began stitching for my husband. Thought I would get it done by Christmas last year, not understanding that a piece over 200,000 stitches is probably going to take me about 30 years. So this one's going to be around for a while. And this is where I am. And it's really cool. It's cool to see the difference between this side and this side. I'm almost done here. This is going to be a page finish. And it was cool to see this turn into this from here. Like here, it just looks like a bunch of, blocks, or little X's, the blocks. But then when you really finish it, it all comes together and it looks really almost like 3D-ish. Very, very cool. So this is going to take me a while. This is going to be around for a while. It's massive. It's like this big. When I do my WIP Parade for the new year, I plan to take it out of the Q-snap so you guys can really see how big it is. My husband's read those books like 10 times each. He's a huge Rivendell fan. Lord of the Rings fan. And so he now knows, of course, that I'm stitching this, so he's very excited. It's his favorite piece of the ones that I have. Okay, the next WIP is a new one for even my viewers. It's a new start, but it has about, let's see here, if we do a quick count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right around 900 stitches. So this is WIP Warriors 2026. I'm stitching this on a 27 count even weave of Bestitch Me, and it's called September Morning. Cool thing about this project, I'm in a group on Facebook. I like to play a lot of Facebook games. So I'm in a group on Facebook called WIP Warriors. Usually it's a closed group. I think it's open right now. And once, as you stitch and you play games, And if you complete certain tasks with your stitching, you earn virtual threads. Okay, once you hit 50 virtual threads, you get this free pattern. So this is the pattern that I'm working on. At the same time, hopefully I've put it over here for you to see. Here, I'm gonna put it here. Ta-da! So this is the pattern. If you can see all the buttons here, you earn buttons by doing special things or completing the entire challenge of something. There's different ways. It's rare to earn a button. So in my WIP, I'm really excited about this, you guys, if you can't tell. I've earned some buttons this year. So I'm actually, and you earn different colors. So I'm going to make the buttons all the colors that I've earned. And I think I'm actually gonna stitch in real buttons. Like I'm gonna go through my button stash. I've got a little stash, and find the buttons that are the same as the ones that I've earned. And I'm gonna actually like sew them in. So this piece just makes me really proud of like what I've earned in these games. So here is where I'm at now. I've started on the lower corner. And I'm working my way up. I have made a little mistake in here. I can't figure out where, I see things that are wrong, I just can't figure out exactly where. So I'm working kind of around it for now so that when I get there, I can either fix it or figure it out or do that. So right now, this is the edge, and I'm gonna start probably working my way up and over. Just kind of start doing that, completing that, and then seeing how this will look in person and figure out how I'm gonna fix that. So yeah, making a lot of progress on this one, really excited. And I also want this one to get finished obviously before this year, because this is, 2026 pattern, and I want to be able to keep being excited about what I'm earning. So it's kind of a fun project. I mean, they're all fun projects, of course, right? We love cross stitching, but this one's just a fun, I don't know, doesn't have a purpose project, I guess. Feel good project. Propagulum. This is a stitch along, was a stitch along, I should say. It's finished now. On another Facebook group that I'm a part of, it's called 100 Days of Crotch Stitch. It's put on by MJ Blanco. Her name is Michelle. And this one, I'm stitching on a 16 count fabric that I also hand dyed in my garden. Here is where I'm at. So let me kind of describe this. Every day for 100 days, she releases a part of the pattern. So it'll be like, this block. So you stitch that, and then the next day she'll release the next block, so on and so on and so forth. I was doing really, really well until there was a mistake that somebody found that was a couple days prior. So she ended up fixing it, but I had to unstitch all of, 3-4 days worth of stitching, and I got really irritated. So I just had to put a big pause on this project. Currently, I am in the process of charting this on a program called WinStitch that I learned about from another Flosstuber. Her name is Becca is Stitching. Becca. She did a tutorial on it, and so I am, I would say about halfway through charting the rest of this design. So this one's on hold until I finish charting, and then I'm going, because I'm a big pattern keeper stitcher. Not even, only a quarter of my projects I think are on pattern keeper, but I really like it. It helps me see where I'm at in the project. I can cross things off, I can go back and I know where I'm at, versus a chart if I'm scratching it off. It's hard. So I am experimenting with trying to figure out how to chart up my own patterns on Pattern Keeper. So this is going to be the first one I do. Really love the detail in this one. And I'm pretty proud that I am doing this on my own hand-dyed fabric. Yes, and I know the needle minder doesn't match. Does it bother me? Of course. Is there anything I can do about it right now? No. So it stays there. On this same Facebook group, there was another project that she had started a while ago, one of my first ones that I've started. And it was called Flower Garden. So I'm going to show you that one real quick. I was stitching this on monk's cloth 12 count because it was one of the first fabrics that I found at Michael's. I do like this project. Here's where we're at, okay? I think I was stitching this before without a Q-snap or a hoop when I first started. So now that I have a hoop and now I know that this will be a lot easier. I wish I would have done 3 over 3. I think this is 3. But I only did 2 because that's, you know, what I grew up learning. So this will get to be a finish someday. It's just not one of my quicker projects that I'm working on. And I did kind of choose my own colors for this. It's fun. It's a fun project. I think it is going to be really colorful when I'm done. It's just not my favorite anymore. I like it, but it's not my favorite anymore. So, still a good one. Still one I want to keep in my WIP pile to work on a little bit here and there, because I feel like eventually, once I keep making progress, it's gonna be really exciting when I can get that done. And I think it's also a good WIP to really show where I started. Wizard Sampler. I guess this one I get really excited about this one. So this is another one that I started when I first started. This is my Harry Potter piece because my husband and I have a guest room that is Harry Potter. We both grew up with the series, so we just love the story. This is by Author and Broid Design on Etsy, by Natalie of Ukraine, and I'm stitching this on a 16 count Aida. Here is where we are. Really close to a finish here. I think I have 5 more blocks to go as soon as I'm finished with the key. And I will end up framing this. And yes, I'm sure a lot of you are seeing how close I am to the edges. Again, this was a mismeasure. That's okay. I still love it so much. This is another one I'd really like to be finished this year. Maybe even this fall. Might be pushing it, but I'd love to get this done before Christmas. So you'll definitely be seeing more of this one. You'll be seeing them all, but more of this one soon, I guess I should say. Okay. I also feel like I have a little bit more of a seasonal stitcher, so we're gonna get into some of my summer projects. This one is another project bag that I made. It's called More Beach, and it's the bonus piece. This is from Pam, one of my viewers. Thank you, Pam. She sent this to me as a little present. I love it. So here is the design. I'm actually stitching this one first. I do plan to do both, but this one is the bonus one. It's from Kathy of Hands On Designs, and I'm stitching this on 16 count Aida Bestitch Me. It's called Neptune, and it was the fabric of the month of December. And so here is, I've kept in this Q snap. I think it's easier for you guys to see. here's where I am. It says less Mondays, more beach. So I've completed almost all of the top. I just have the legs still left to do. Done all the fish. So next I'll need more beach and then the house in the water. And I've stitched this a lot on the beach. I live about 5 minutes away from a little boardwalk beach area. And I do love in the summer grabbing my beach chair and an umbrella and plopping down and sewing on the beach. Putting my feet in the sand. I think just, you know, the smell of the ocean, the warmth of the sun, it's relaxing. Airplane window. Here's my project bag I made for that one. Airplane window, so I travel a lot for work. So I really wanted a project to work on while traveling. And, okay, you guys, this really bothers me. My needle minder is a snowman on this beautiful, well, maybe I put it over here now because my head's over here. This beautiful scene, and it bothers me. So I do need to switch out some of my needle minders. But again, this is from Natalie on Etsy from Ukraine of Author Embroidered Design. It's on 11 count Aida that I hand dyed. And here in my garden again, of course, I love hand dyeing stuff in my garden. Here's where we are. So a couple things. The 11 count I don't mind so much. I am doing 2 over 2. Loving these colors. And again for the background, I'm going to I'm just going to stitch the window. I'm not stitching the rest because this color is going to be the rest of the design. I just really like just having the window here with this. The other thing about this piece is that, again, especially in traveling, I really like having Pattern Keeper. So this will be the second project then that I chart up. I'm experimenting with the one that I just showed you, the Propagulum. This one's going to be the next one that I chart into Pattern Keeper, chart into WinStitch, upload to Pattern Keeper. So this one currently is on hold until that gets done. Because trying to do this paper pattern for me is it's just hard. So can't wait to keep working on that one, but I got to get it charted. I think that'll help my brain work on that a lot easier. Love the Beach Life by Ursula Michael. This one's on a 27 count even weave Bestitch Me called Watermelon Slushy. It was the Fabric of the Month Club last year, July 2025. This is what it looks like. Love the beach life. I do. I love the beach life. Another project that I work on the beach a lot. And it's just exactly what I do. I have my little beach chair. I got an umbrella. I sit down right by the water. And sometimes I'll listen to an Audible book on tape. Sometimes I will just listen to the sounds of the water and the birds. So something different for this project. I love this color so much that's why I picked this fabric. So I have a smaller start this time because I haven't started much on this one yet. I just started this July. So there's my little start. I think I did a pretty good job of picking this color. So my as you can kind of see what I started, I'm going to outline this in white instead of this navy because I think that'll help with this white looking really good with the background. And then one of these colors also really matches. So I subbed out one color from this pattern to make sure it matched the color of the background, the watermelon slushy. So outlining it all in white, it's going to be on this. I'm very excited with I think how this is going to end up looking. So just a couple things that I changed. So far, I'm just really excited about. Makes me want to stitch on it right now. Would that be funny if I just started just going at it and then left you guys here for, no. That would not be funny. Okay, moving on. Books are magic. This is by Counting Puddles. I'm stitching this on a 14 count Aida, and I am stitching it on a dark teal fabric. I started this year in May for Mental Health Mondays. I love reading. I'm in 2 book clubs, and I really like fantasy, romantasy, fiction, psychological thrillers, some mysteries, some historical fiction. It's kind of all where I'm at. So I have stitched this part up here, some of the pages, and then a little bit of the purple flower. So not a big start, but I have worked on it a few times. So this is the fabric. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna show you my stitching. I did a lot of newer starts. I did like kind of like the May Mania, and I did just start it July. We're gonna say July. So I did a couple of new starts for those. Okay, Bluebird Nest. This one I started a bit ago. This is by Elizabeth Spurblock of Saving Grace's Fine Needle Arts. This is in the Just Cross Stitch magazine, Spring 2020. This is what it's going to look like. And I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida that I hand dyed in my garden, this lighter blue. I try to do it kind of similar to this. And I started this on August 2025 last year for Robin of Bird's Eye Stitches. She's another floss tuber for her birthday start. So this is where I am. The cool thing about this project, I am not using any of the called for except for maybe 5 colors, some of which are right here in the body. Everything else I have pulled from Stash, but none of it is DMC. Most of it is DMC. I went to a retreat last year called Acorns and Threads, Pacific Northwest Stitching Summit. I'm going again this year. You guys, it was a wonderful, wonderful time. If you haven't been to a retreat, please go. And if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone's just so welcoming and wonderful. It's awesome. Super friendly. So this one, a lot of people were giving away floss from Design the Needle or JP Coats. I'm trying to think if there's some silks maybe. So I'm using all of that for this project. I think it's a bit brighter than what is called for. That's kind of like what it's seeming like, but with it being this spring turning into summer picture, I am very happy with how that's looking. Japanese Teapot is next. Okay, so I already told you guys a little bit about how I love my iris garden. Something that I do every year is host a high tea party out there for some of my friends. We dress up, we do the whole, you know, the pearls and the hats and the dresses, and the guys wear their I don't want to say tuxes, but they're like their suits, you know, and a nice, you know, shirt. And then we sometimes play croquet, and we do, you know, I do all the tea, the 3-tiered cake stand, everything. So I like to have a new teapot that I'm stitching for every year. So this is this year's teapot. It's called Cross My Heart. It's a kit on 14 count Ada that I traded out for my own fabric called Midsummer Bestitch Me. Well, Midsummer, it's of Bestitch Me fabrics. And this is what it's supposed to look like. Here, whoops, oh, sorry. Here's where I am. So I've done a lot of the middle of the teapot. Really loving how this is looking. Love the fabric that I chose for it. Very much hate the chart. Would not ever stitch from them again. Whoever made this chart needs some help. It's like hand-drawn. Things are overlapping. It's really hard. There's quarter stitches that's really hard to figure out and differentiate. I go through a lot of this in my last, I think it's my last two episodes. It's just driving me nuts. So I am going to finish this because I do love the picture, but you're going to hear me complain about it a lot because I just don't like the pattern. And I probably will be bringing this with me to my next retreat to have my table mates look at this and tell me if I'm crazy or if they can help me, or maybe they can do something to make it easier, or maybe they just tell me, nope, it really sucks, and good luck. So I'm going to stop that here for now because I just have so many irritating thoughts about it that you'll probably see, if you haven't already seen, in future floss tubes. But I am going to grind it out because I really like this. I really like the picture. But honestly, I almost feel like I know this is terrible and I've only been like stitching for a year, you guys, but I feel like with what I've learned with wind stitch so far, I feel like I could make this better, which is a very presumptuous thing to say, but it just drives me nuts so much that it makes me want to make this pattern better for everybody else to stitch, because I'm like, it's such a cool piece, but the charting is trash. It's just trash. So great pattern. I just don't like the way that it was charted, I guess. So it's not a diss to the artist, just a diss just a diss to the people that are charted it. I don't know. Anyway, moving on, we're going to talk about my pieces from Krista West. She's the designer of Avlea. So I have 2 ongoing right now that I'm counting. So we'll talk about this first one here, which you guys are going to kind of laugh that I'm counting this as a WIP. But this is the project bag, and I'm counting this as a WIP. I received this at the retreat, Pacific Northwest Stitching Summit that I talked about last year. And it's basically an embroidery fun experiment that I'm doing. I'm using embroidery stitches that I'm learning or making up, one of the two. Using, like, this is my first time using, like, variegated thread. This is a, let's see if you can see that in the sun. This is a specialty thread. Sorry, you guys, I know I have a bandit. I was chopping veggies the other day and I cut my finger, so. So yeah, really cool that I'm, just when I feel like doing it, I'm just kind of working on it. It's just part of the bag. I don't know. It's just really fun for me to do. There is directions on how to do it in here or what stitches to use, and I'm kind of following them but I'm not. I'm making up my own too. So it's just kind of been a fun experiment. So I'm counting that as a WIP. So my next WIP is one that she actually designed for cross stitch, and that's called Asteria. It looks like this. It is a table runner. And yes, I want to finish it exactly like this for my tea party. Future tea parties. And so here, I've started in the middle, and here is where I am. This one is stitched on a 25 count even weave, Aegean Sky. And this was my birthday start that I started kind of on a floss tube with Krista and Carolyn. Carolyn was supposed to start it, but she's doing her countdown to 50. Carolyn is from Seazook Stitch, another floss tuber here. and she co-runs one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of for games. So Carolyn, you better be starting this one maybe next year for your birthday. I'm gonna be done then, but then I still at least get to see you stitch it. Okay, so those are those two that are in, that I kind of have there together, but they're each counting as a separate WIP. Okay, next is coffee break. Oh, let's see, how am I doing? 34 minutes, perfect. Coffee break, guys. Take a sip of your coffee or your beverage or whatever you got. Get some stretches in. Get that blood flowing. Okay, so this next one's actually called Coffee Break, which is why it's a perfect one for me to kind of put here in the middle of my projects. And this one is by Shannon Wasseleaf. This is her design from Etsy 2020, and I am stitching this on 16 count Aida called Frappuccino of Bestitch Me. And this says, coffee warms the soul. My husband is a huge coffee drinker, and I really don't do caffeine, but I do a lot of decaf. I love my decaf lattes. So really loving this fabric choice, and here is where I am. This is my little coffee needle minder. This one I did some more of my own floss choosing. So if you can see, let's see, how am I going to show you this? Like this. Okay. I wanted this color for the mug, which is kind of what you see here. The thing that kind of upsets me about this is that when you pull the thread that's called for, this is actually purple, like this color purple. And what drew me to the pattern was the color pink is my favorite color. Just a little side bit there in case you wanted to know. So I'm really proud of the colors that I did a lot of color switching out of this project for my own colors, because I wanted it to look more so like the picture. I don't know if this was a printing issue or I don't know what happened with why this doesn't look exactly like what it's called for, but I decided to change it because this is what I like. Oh yeah, and then I have all my floss drops that I made for it. I talked that about in the last video. I've been big on making these floss drops for my project. That's in my floss organization video about how I'm doing that, rekitting all my projects and creating my master set. Okay, next we are going to talk about Peaceful Mountain Camping Scene. This is from Pocket Mama Shop on Etsy. This is my project bag I made for it. So this is cool because I really like this piece because I only ever stitch on it while camping. That's a rule I've made for myself for this project. So love this. It's what's the word? Not fleece. Flannel. This is all made out of flannel. This is actually a flannel shirt that I had that just shrunk in the wash, so I decided to make it into this project bag. It was also a shirt that I wore camping a lot, so this is perfect for that. And there's the inside. So this one is another hand-dyed piece that I made using 11 count Aida. And here is where we are. And I love this needle binder that goes with it called Adventure. I just love this piece. So I haven't seen it in a while. It's kind of cool to see. But I am going to have another camping trip planned in October. So you will see this come out in October, if not sooner, to be worked on. And I really like having a piece to stitch on while camping. Once this is finished, I will definitely be continuing this tradition that I've created and pick another piece that's just for camping. And all the floss is in there. Gasp, all the floss is not in here. What was I? You know what? It's because I was kidding things up. Okay, I will put that off to the side because I have to, I gotta get that kitted up before October comes. Okay. It will have, you know what? I was working on making some more floss drops anyway, so that's perfect. Okay, while we're speaking about fall, we're gonna talk about Stitch an Inch. This one is by Donna Bayless of By the Bay Needle Arts on Etsy. I'm stitching this on Ada 22 count in this project, excuse me, this project bag that I got at, from one of my table mates at Stitch North last year in November. Okay, so Stitch an Inch fall. I am doing this entire chart. So you can usually just do one piece, kind of sporadic like this if you want, but I'm gonna do the whole one because I really like this and I love the colors. So here is where I am on this one, and I have a little pumpkin needle minder for the fall, and this actually is one of my favorite needles. It just really slides through the tiny holes very well. And this that I'm using right now is a variegated thread of Weeks Dye Works called Sunset. It's probably one of my favorite colors, you guys. I just really like how that's turning out, and I love that color. So this one will definitely be coming back out a lot this fall. Because again, like I said, I'm seasonal. So if it's summer, I want to stitch on summer things. If it's fall, I want to stitch on fall things. Just learning that about myself. Okay, next project is kind of a fun one that I've created. I'm calling it my waist knot. I'll kind of put that here down at the bottom, waist knot. And it's my Earth Day project. The design that I found for this, the pattern that I found, is by Ruth Cartwright of Craft with Cartwright. It's a freebie of hers. And I'm recycling my floss ends instead of trashing them. So these are the ends of my floss that I cut that aren't big enough to, you know, wrap around the bobbin again or save really, but they're not tiny that you need to throw away. They're kind of, you know, like mid to small size, but you could still have, it has a few, you know, has some life of stitches still left in it. And so I'm using those to create this earth design. Okay, so I don't think I can show you the pattern for this one because the pattern is the chart, but it's a freebie. It's a freebie. You can find it. It's basically of the earth, and it has like a little heart on it, and then so I'm using all of these. So far I've got all the greens in from all my projects that I've just had extras in. I just save it in a bag, and then when I stitch on this, I just pull out the green ones. Next I'll be doing the blue for the water, and I'm probably gonna write waist knot or Earth Day or something like that up here. I just love this. This fabric I got is 20 count Ada. I got this from a destashing site, and so I love that the pattern. Okay, sorry, I just sneezed. Hopefully I cut that out. The pattern is a freebie, recycling, and that's all free. This is free. We're reusing the fabric, reusing the threads. I just really like that idea. So I started this for Earth Day this year, and I love that I'm gonna be able to create a project from recycled material, and or essentially garbage. So that one's also very exciting. And this project bag is another one that I also got at the retreat. Okay, my oldest WIP, I'll talk about this one next, it's called Italian Blessing by Diane Authors of Imaginating. It's a 2009 chart, and I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida. This is what it looks like, and I have stitched this here and to here. So I'm also, this is my experiment for back stitching as I go, so that when I'm done, I don't need to go back and back stitch anything. So this is one that I just like having this one in my stash. I just like working on it sometimes. Not a very fast stitch for me. I just like pulling it out sometimes and working on it. So here is where we are. And I'm just seeing how I like this method of backstitching as I go. So I'm going to finish up the grapes down here. And then once those grapes are done, I will backstitch the leaf. And then keep going all the way down. Oops, looks like I've got a little, yeah, so this would not be one to use for my waist knot project. This is actually, it's too small. Yeah, so that will have to go in my little container. Ort, thank you. Yeah, it's my ort. That's an actual ort. Okay. Container of orts. Okay, Home Sweet Home. Talk about this one next. This one is a design of Nanette Parisi, Design Works. I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida black. And this is another chart that I thoroughly despise. So I have decided to call this the finish. Here's where it is, okay? Love this, love the colors. That's why I picked it up. Do not like how it's charted at all. Just, it drives me nuts. So I'm just going to stitch the flowers and then that's gonna be done. I don't know, maybe I won't even get done to this flower. We'll see how, we'll see. So right now I'm in this flower and ugh, I love the colors. I love the colors and how they're looking on the black. The other thing, I kind of talked about this before, is that there are 3 colors of pink in here, and it's really hard to see that for me. My eyes just don't see it. Maybe on camera you can see it better. I don't know. But yeah, so all of this pink that I did up here, when I put this background pink in it, to me, it all looks the same, and it just feels like I did all that work for nothing. So, I will finish this flower. That's it. Then I'm dumping the chart. I know a lot of people don't like stitching on black. I don't mind stitching on black. I just am not a fan. I find that as a stitcher, the chart really makes a big difference. And I think that's why I've really gone into Pattern Keeper so much, because to me, I can see my progress. I know where I'm at. If I think I've made a mistake, it's easier for me to go back and figure out where it is. I like that when you just cross it off, it's the color. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. My brain really likes the Pattern Keeper method. And some of these charts are okay. That one is not. It's just, it's chart, I can hardly, you have like a capital Y and then a capital V. And they're, the way that the font is, they look almost the same. It's really hard to figure out. I have to like check my work 3 times before I move to 3 more boxes. Then I gotta check my work 3 more times before I move on. It's just very slow and tedious. And it's not fun. So, and as you can see, I have tons of other projects that I'm really excited about. So that one, I'm just gonna finish the flower and then be done and move on. Okay, another one that I get a little excited about is another new start of mine. Newer start. You guys have seen this before, if you're a viewer, but It's called Let's Sew. I don't think you've seen the latest of it though. It's called Let's Sew by Ursula Michael. And I'm stitching this on 16 count Aida and another fabric that I hand dyed in my garden. So I did say that I learned how to sew on the sewing machine during COVID. I started with the masks. When I was younger, my grandma and I stitched a quilt together when I was probably like 8. So that was like my first tangible experience with the sewing machine. And I'm now learning, you know, to make project bags, and I've made a lot of, I'm excited. So I want this to go in my craft room. I did inherit my grandma's old Singer sewing machine. I do have my own sewing machine, but I do have the old Singer, and I just love it. So this one's gotta go in the project room. The floss that I'm using, I pulled designs for the needle. It looks like this. And this is the fabric that I hand dyed in my garden. So really, really, and you can see I'm getting better with the hand dyeing. So I'm starting again at the bottom, and this also has quarter stitches in it, but I really like how it's looking. And then this is actually all back stitched. I haven't back stitched the S yet, this last one, but I will. So starting on the bottom, working my way up, and then I will probably cut this off and use this for something else. So we are currently here with the floss. We've got the stitch here. So I'll probably work on getting that finished and then kind of moving my way either over here and up, which is really unusual for me. Usually I like a top left start, but some of these projects, I don't know, just starting at the bottom where the bottom of my fabric has really lined up well, and I just kind of have been going with that for a few of my newer starts lately. I think that's really good for me to do, and I know that the piece is going to be not as big as the fabric that I have, because it helps me kind of with measuring. Okay, next we're going to talk about Bramblling Hill by the Artsy Housewife. This was a project that I got at the retreat last year, Pacific Northwest Stitching Summit. And I think this is going to be released this fall, if it hasn't been released already. So this is what it looks like. I'm stitching this on 36 count gray by Weeks Dye Works. Gigi put this kit together for us at that retreat. And right now I am currently here on the border. This one I haven't made a lot of progress on, because when I started this, it was the most difficult, smallest count I had ever stitched. And I think I had to unstitch it probably 4 or 5 times because I kept getting it wrong. And I think I was starting at the Stitchy Summit, and I mean, I was laughing because I'm like, you guys, I can't do this. And everyone at the table was like, yes, you can, yes, you can. So I finally did like figure it out. So here I am. Very tiny for me, probably the tiniest that I've got. Would not want to go tinier than this for right now. Some of you guys that do that 40 count stitching, 50 count, more kudos to you. I would go cross-eyed. I don't have a magnifying glass, which is probably, I know that's how some of you guys do it. But so this one, from stitching on Aida to trying to stitch on this with this cat, was very difficult for me. Now that I have some of those Lugana projects and even weaves, this has gotten a lot easier. It's still difficult, but not as difficult as when I first started it. So this one will be coming out more. I think I just had to mature my hobby into being able to stitch this. I just don't think I had enough experience when I first got this project, which made it extremely difficult. But I started it, and like I said, I unstitched about 5 times. I was like, I'm going to learn this. So it's still in the WIP pile. It's still getting progress. It's just definitely going to be a bit slower, but I'm feeling more confident stitching this than I did last year. Okay, Animal Crossing. This one, I love this one. This is a game that it's a game on the Switch. Used to be on GameCube. It's kind of where it started. Anyway, so it's a video game. It's from the video game. You either know it or you don't. It's okay. It's just something that I grew up with as a kid, so it just feels, excuse me, it's a little warm place in my heart. This is from Tatiana in France. I got this on her Etsy shop called White Raven Patterns Shop. Stitching this on 14 count Aida. And here is where I am. So this whole thing will be a leaf. So I've got the sky and the trees done, and I'm now working on the house, bringing that down. This is a very easy stitch for me. Being on 14 count Aida, using all the called for DMC. And I'm just having fun with this one. I love the little Animal Crossing. It's a feel-good game. You catch bugs, you go fishing, you collect seashells on the beach, you design your house. You basically live in real life in the world, and there isn't a lot of point. You just go around and you know, sell things in the shop and you buy things, and it's kind of like life, but I think it's better. Like the game life. I have this towering WIP pile that I'm gonna have to put away. Trying to make sure it doesn't collapse. Okay. Next we have, we're almost done, guys. We've got 3 more to go. Secret Ingredient by Sue Hill's Design. And I'm stitching this on a 14 count Vintage Country Mocha. And this is my Great British Baking Show, I love that show, stitch. And yes, this is from last season. I'm still not done. I still haven't finished watching it. But I need to hurry up and get this done because the next season's coming out this fall. So this one this is here. I'm talking about it. I'll just show you. So this is what it looks like. I had each baker on the show represent a motif, and then when they got kicked off the show, sorry, not kicked off isn't the right, when they got eliminated, then I would stitch their entire motif. But if they won some of the prizes in the show, like, you know, Starbreak, or if they got a Paul Hollywood handshake, I'd stitch, you know, 25 or whatever it was, 10 stitches on their motif as well. So the whole thing's kind of making progress. It looks like a mess. I'll show you, because everything's got strings hanging, because again, I stitched the required number of stitches and then I stop. So let me just show you how this is. So here is where it is. Yes, so it looks like a mess. I had to grid it out because I didn't know where, yeah, it was a great idea that I had, but putting it actually into making it come to life. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to say that. Making it come to life was much more difficult than I had imagined. Not sure I would do something like this again, unless I had like a pre-gridded fabric, but it's fun. I know. Hi viewers, I apologize for this jarring switch. It's only been a little bit for you. It's been 3 weeks for me. So I'll explain. So before you kind of saw my cute little done-up face. Today you get no makeup, hair up. This is all me. And this is sometimes how I film too. So you're gonna get all of me today. So when I was filming my WIP Parade, my phone shut off, and it's because it was too full. So I spent the last 3 weeks trying to figure out how to get rid of, videos and pictures and moving my computer, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, I was talking to a couple of other floss tubers that I'm friends with, Carolyn Zook of C Zook Stitch and Robin of Bird's Eye Stitches. And we figured out that the app that I'm using was taking up more than half my phone space. And it's a quick fix. You just have to delete, reset, and all that space is back. So it took me 3 weeks to figure that out. So anyway, I'm sorry I couldn't film the rest of this, and I didn't want to post it because I left off so jarringly. So now that that's figured out, this is exciting. So we're gonna, secret ingredient you guys kind of saw. I'm not gonna bring it up again. You'll see it again when I film it on another floss tube. I'm gonna go right now. I have one more cross-stitch project to show you. If anyone's counting, I have 26 WIPs. I know at the beginning of this video, I said 27, and I said that on my last floss tube as well. I think I said 26 plus a new start. I don't know where I got those numbers from, because after combing through all my notes and all my projects, I only count 26. So guys, math isn't my greatest subject. This is probably why I like art things so much. Anyway, so let's start here with Colorful Eagle. This is my last one. This project I just started this year on the 4th of July. If any of you watches Jeremiah's mom, it's Katie on Flosstube. She stitched this last year and has it hung up behind her head. Is it on this side? One of the sides in her floss tubes. And I absolutely love it. Loved it so much that I got the pattern for myself, because we are all enablers here. So this is the pattern. I obviously have a very short start. This is where I am. Oops, it's upside down. So I'm stitching this and it's a sparkle white. It's hard to see in the videos, but it does sparkle in the light. Ada, I think it's 14 count. I grabbed it from Stash. And it's of Pamela Kellogg of Kitty and Me Designs. So this is where I'm at right here. And then I'm still needing a few more. Some of this is really this pretty gold color, so I need to order that. And I think there's another 2 colors I might be missing, and when I try to go get them, they're always gone. So I will eventually put them in my stash. But so you'll probably see this project come out probably on patriotic holidays. That's my patriotic piece. Again, like I said, I started it out on Independence Day this year, and I just find it really cool. You guys probably don't think it's as funny as I do because you're watching this all the way through, but this is now a 3 weeks in the making floss tube for me, or my WIP Parade. So I do apologize that I haven't posted lately. This is why. But now that I have tons more space in my phone, I've been stitching through this whole time. So I have enough material now, definitely for another floss tube. So I will be posting another floss tube probably within the week. So that you guys can kind of see what I've been working on since. You'll see some progress that I've made and some of the projects that I've just shown you. And we'll get back to my weekly, in between my weekly and bi-weekly postings. So I'm going to end this like I always do, which is be kind to yourself. Sorry, a notification just popped up. Be kind to yourself. We are all doing the best we can. Whether you look like this, makeup free this summer, or if you look like I did just a couple little minutes ago and you're kind of cute and dolled up, we're doing the best we can. So just be nice to yourself and keep stitching. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys subscribe, and I'll show you all my progress in the next video. Bye. And I love that it's this for summer. Okay, you know what? We gotta start this over because this is trash.